It's been quite a while since I first teased my anime heroes as dragons episode. It was in the Justice League Dragons episode that I first alluded to it, where I was talking about a creature that could potentially beat the Superman dragon in a fight, hinting at a One Punch Man dragon, and I think it's about time I designed that dragon, along with a few others that people have been really wanting to see on the channel. So let's get right into that. Anime heroes as dragons. Let's go. Hit like if you want, subscribe if you feel like, but either way, enjoy the show. Oftentimes when I research dragons, I'm looking at various species, aside from a few token cases such as the Titan of Death. But the first dragon we analyze today is an outlier, and a completely bizarre and incredible one at that. It's from a fairly basic species of dragons called the Japanese mountain dragon. These creatures are abundant and unremarkable, having rounded teeth and claws, no fire breath, and really no distinguishing ability whatsoever. But the individual we look at today is a dragon I've mentioned in the past as potentially being the strongest dragon in the history of the world. It has shown power akin to and potentially beyond that of the superior sky dragon, the Titan of Death, the orbital marvel, and the soaring Saigon, who we haven't discussed yet, but we'll look at later today. This is the bald fist swinger, named as such because Japanese mountain dragons oft have a tuft of hair on their heads, similar to that of the sparking Dreku, whereas this dragon does not. And of course, because this dragon's main form of attack, oddly enough, is, well, punching. As said, this species has no abilities and is often prey to other dragons, but the bald fist swinger can move and punch with such force that the air from a single swing can level a forest. It's theorized that if this individual struck the earth with full force, it could shatter the entirety of Japan in one hit. Luckily for all residents of this world, the fist swinger rarely uses its full force, or any force at all really. Much of the time it's simply found sleeping or foraging for food. The only cases where it springs into action are when any powerful dragons attack its herd. In those moments, it will shoot into battle, and in recorded history, has never taken more than one swing to take out an opponent, after which it will immediately return to lazing about. This creature is truly an anomaly who clearly desires to protect its own kind, so let's just consider ourselves lucky that the creature has nothing against humanity. Now with this one, to be honest, I was a little bit worried that it was going to look too plain, because I went into it knowing that I wanted to make it a sort of plain looking dragon. As said in that description, it comes from a species that is fairly basic by dragon standards, because, you know, One Punch Man himself is a fairly basic, almost goofy, plain kind of design. So I wanted to make sure that translated over into this dragon, but still make it a cool looking beast. I'd also considered originally making it a wyvern, making the arms attached to the wings kind of thing, but then as I started thinking about that, I realized that if something is gonna swing its fist, it's a lot harder for it to swing it quickly if it's got, you know, resistance from something like a wing attached to it. Not that that would necessarily be a problem for One Punch Man because, you know, he's so insanely strong and fast that it wouldn't matter, but I figured it made more sense to have the fists separate from the wings. Plus, I already had another wyvern in mind for this episode. It is pretty plain looking, but I think that works well for this dragon, and I hope you all like it as well. Here's our One Punch Man dragon. For our next dragon, we head to Germany, actually to look at another individual dragon, not part of a species at all. In the German mountains, there is a particularly unpleasant breed of trolls that hunts humans as their main source of food. They're lumbering, unsettling beasts with eerie grins that are the scourge of the region. Luckily, a few years back, a dragon appeared in the area that specifically hunts these trolls. The Titanic Steaming Troll Hunter is a fleshy wyvern that actually resembles the trolls it hunts. It has skin like that of a human, but far more durable. Trails of steam emit from its body constantly, and while it can't breathe fire or lightning or anything like that, it can breathe steam from its maw that's hot enough to burn and blind its prey. Now, at the time when I went to Germany to find and study this creature, I wasn't as open to some of the rumors about it, but now I'm more inclined to consider them as true. You see, people who have encountered this creature have claimed that it actually is a human, one with a special ability to transform into a dragon. This hunter, or Yeager as it would be called in Germany, has been the saving grace of people in the region who have long been prey to troll attacks. Seemingly any time a horde of the beasts will head for a kingdom, this dragon will appear on the scene to devour and slay them all. Regardless of whether the rumors are true of it being a transforming human, I just say it's nice to know a creature like this is out there fighting to protect humanity from some of the more brutal beasts of this world. Now, originally when I'd started designing this dragon, I was going to incorporate more of Eren Yeager in his human form, but then as I got rolling, I was like, for making a beast, there's more interesting stuff to put on this dragon from his Titan form. Transferring his Titan's head into a dragon head was a lot of fun, and I think it turns into one of my better dragon head designs. It's also really fun writing stuff in this universe now that I've fleshed out some other stuff in this universe more with the Astra and the Secret Knights Community Redraw episode from a few days ago. I explained how the Overseer, or sort of god of this world, really doesn't like humans and is trying to get beasts to slowly kill them all off. So whenever I create a creature that's on the side of humans, the cogs really start turning about how this creature came to be and what the Overseer of this world is going to want to do to get rid of it. Obviously, I can't fully flesh that out for every dragon, and it's not really the thing that most people care about with these dragon episodes, but it's really fun for me to think about and potentially flesh out in some other more story-focused Multiverse Tales kinds of episodes. Anyway, quite pleased with this one, pretty creepy looking as it should be, being a dragon based off a Titan, and I hope you all like it as well. Here it is. As per usual, all 4 dragons from this episode will be available as posters on my Teespring store. Hopefully by the time this video is out, they'll be available in the little bar under this video, but if not, I'll put links to all 4 of them in the pinned comment. I'm getting faster at these mid-video interruptions. Probably a good thing. Let's get into the next 2 dragons. Next, we finally go back to a species of dragons, albeit one in short supply, the soaring Saiyagons. This species seems to be native to Japan, but is commonly found on the islands of Hawaii as well, or just soaring around the planet, hence their names. Like the orbital marvel, these dragons can fly, despite having no wings to speak of. And as mentioned earlier, they are remarkably powerful beasts that actually have tiers to their strength that are visibly recognizable by the color of their spikes. While not in battle with other creatures or beings, the soaring Saiyagons have black spikes, but in the heat of battle, they'll occasionally change to a glowing golden color. That in itself is a somewhat rare occurrence to behold, as they rarely face foes strong enough to warrant that power, but on rarer occasions, they can even go beyond that. Once, one of these dragons was spotted in battle with a superior sky dragon, and the match seemed fairly even, until the soaring Saiyagon's spikes shifted color once more, from gold to pink. That seemed to represent it powering up once more, and then it seemed to take the lead in the battle. The 2 creatures soon after took the fight into the atmosphere, so it was never proven who actually won the battle, but to this day many have argued over who they believe bested the other. One of the main attacks of these dragons is a cannon of light that they can fire from their mouths. It's currently unknown what element this is that they breathe, but whatever it is, it's remarkably powerful and can be shot as a beam or as smaller round bursts. Some of these creatures have in the past had quarrels with humanity, but luckily others of their kind have always stepped in to stop them before they could wipe out a significant amount of us. Now with this one I'd had an idea of what I was going to do with it for a while, taking Goku and the Super Saiyan kind of look and mixing that with a little bit of Shenron. Felt like a pretty obvious way to go about it, and I kind of like the idea of these dragons being able to fly without having wings, because I'd already introduced that as a thing in the world with the Captain Marvel dragon, and I thought it made sense for these dragons as well. I maybe should have made these dragons a little bit more buff looking. I made it on the skinny side, but still gave it some pretty big muscles and tried to make them very Akira Toriyama inspired muscles. But it does end up looking still like kind of a skinnier dragon, which, you know, obviously because I was pulling from Shenron, that kind of works, but because it should have looked like it's super powerful, maybe not so much. I don't know, overall I'm still very pleased with how this ended up turning out, and I hope you all like it as well, but I could definitely see people saying, hey, this should have been a lot more muscly looking of a dragon. Anyway, it's all done now, so you can judge the final result. Here's the finished version. Finally for today is the nine-tailed foxfang. We've talked in the past about a few creatures in the Zburator family, such as the Great Canadian Terrorclaw. Zburators are wolf-like dragons, and this creature somewhat fits into that family, but as you may be able to tell from the name, it more resembles a fox than a wolf. It can be seen in the forests of Japan and is often found to be a very playful creature. It spends much of its time toying with other creatures and humans of its region. It can emit a pheromone that can cause hallucinations, and often people have claimed, when in its territory, to, oddly enough, see illusions of very attractive women. But while these creatures are generally tricksters more so than hunters, they can be vicious when they spring into action. They're incredibly agile and, for their size, are remarkably strong. Generally, they'll use raw power to hunt their prey, but they can also fire round blue bolts from their mouth when they need to strike prey from a distance. Once again, this is a species not commonly found to attack humans, but if you find yourself in their forests and you begin to see strange things, you may want to find your way home before falling prey to more nine-tailed mischief. Now this is the one dragon where, while I like it enough, I feel like I failed a little bit at what I was going for. I mean, not so much in terms of the design is pretty much what I was thinking. I feel like I should have leaned a little bit more dragon than fox, but overall I'm happy enough with the design. It's just, I don't know, the pose is a little bit awkward, the way I had to tuck the back legs in behind so you can't really see them. The thing that I was kind of trying to replicate with this one was mostly on the face. I was taking inspiration from what I did with my Benwolf Kaiju from the Ben 10 Aliens as Kaijus or Giant Monsters episode. Because I really loved how the face and mouth turned out on that one, and I wanted to do something similar for this because this is a fox creature, it would have a similar face to a wolf creature. But this one feels a little bit skewed. The one on the Benwolf Kaiju just felt like it worked a lot better, and again, I feel like maybe I should have worked more dragon into this one. Anytime I'm working with a Zburator kind of dragon, I always have a hard time finding the right balance of how wolf-like and how dragon-like it should be. Still think this one turned out pretty cool, but, you know, in comparison to the rest of the dragons of this episode, I think this one falls a little bit short. Hopefully you all still like it though. Let's take a look at the finished result. Often at the end of my dragon videos, I'll rank the episode compared to my other dragon videos, but I think I need to stop doing that, because usually a few days after I've made it, I'll have changed my mind. But tentatively speaking, I do really like how this one turned out. By the way, if you're new to the channel and you were hoping for some My Hero Academia dragons, I've got 2 full episodes of My Hero Academia characters as dragons. That's why I didn't do any in this episode. Along with that, I've got a playlist full of turning other stuff into dragons. I've done Marvel characters, DC characters, Overwatch characters, famous horror movie icons, and lots of other monster stuff on the channel too. I recently started a series where I'm turning stuff into kaijus like Ben 10 Aliens and Pokemon and stuff like that. Check those out if you like this. But anyway, everybody, that's all for today. I'm Christian Pearson. This has been PopCross Studios, home of the nerdiest art videos on YouTube. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next episode on Friday. Goodbye.